God, you call
Hey
me by
everyone, my name is Madela Masai if you're new here, and if you are a returning subscriber, thank you so much for coming back onto my video or clicking on this video. I'm happy to have you. It's going to be a juicy real estate video. I hope that you learn a lot. Okay, so in today's video, I'm going to be talking about or telling you how to make your first 10 grand in real estate or as a new agent. Just a disclaimer, I am not one of those people like I have the answer. This is just the one way that you should do it. I'm as realistic as possible. If you go through my videos, my real estate videos from like a year ago or so, I am as realistic, honest as possible, and I'm honestly just trying to help. After I let you guys know these steps that I think honestly is like, if you do it and you are consistent with it, you will make your first 10 grand. So after I tell you about these steps, that is, I don't want to say guaranteed, but if you do it, you should. I will let you guys know how I made my first 10 grand in real estate. Okay, so I have my laptop with me on my lap, so I will be looking down at my notes here and there. I'm not as sharp as I used to be when I was younger, so I need to look at my notes. So if you see me looking down, I'm just looking at my notes. Alrighty, so finding the right brokerage is very important. But if you just got into real estate and you realize that the brokerage that you're with is not the right fit for you, don't panic, but use it to your advantage and identify what's important for you or what is missing, what you need from your or what you want from your next brokerage, and what's like priority, if that makes sense. For me, I needed hands-on training and leads. So I started off with Keller Williams, and shortly after I was heartbroken and realized that I wasn't just handed listings. I don't know where I got that idea from, but I honestly thought that we were just going to be handed listings, not leads, but listings. Anywho, so after I was heartbroken with that, I quickly realized that what I need is I wanted hands-on training and I wanted a brokerage that provided leads. Why those two things? Now, to learn the contract side of real estate, like what contracts you need for a listing, what contracts you need when you have a buyer. For me, I knew that I would need hands-on training. Like I need somebody in front of me going through the contract with me, telling me what to do, XYZ. And I quickly realized that I would not get that at such a big brokerage like Keller Williams. And for me, so I did my real estate course online. I'm someone that I needed to be in front of me. I need to be able to, one second. So yeah, I did my real estate course online and I need the material in front of me. I need to be able to go over it as much as possible. And that is the best way that I learn. If I can see it in front of me, I'm a visual learner. And I finished my course in 4 months. And I knew if I was in class in person, I would have had to redo it over and over and over again. So hands-on training. And then I also needed leads. Why? I don't have any money to put into marketing. Well, I didn't have any money to put into marketing at that time. And I'm not the best at, well, at least that was what was in my head. Like, I'm not the best at finding out the best ways to get clients in this brand new field. And it's not like I'm selling cars or selling lip gloss or something. I'm trying to be able to either sell houses or, have a buyer to buy houses with me. So in my mind, I was just like, I don't want to have to like learn how to get real estate leads. So I just want someone that provides leads. Those are the two things that I knew that I wanted when I was with Keller Williams. Like I knew that was missing. I knew that was going to be the best way that I would be able to excel in real estate if I had hands-on training and leads. My next broker that I went with, they were very small. They were brand new in this area. So it was like a franchise. And when I sat down, when I first joined, what sold me was, it's perfect for our brokerage is perfect for new real estate agents. And like what they were saying was that they had training specifically for new agents, and they also provided leads. When I did my onboarding and whatnot, the lady that was a franchise manager, for this brokerage, she brought me to her house and she was like, I'm gonna go over the contracts with you, where we get our contracts from, what you would need, XYZ. She made things so simple and so much easier for me to wrap my head around the whole contracts thing, because I was so intimidated by it. And in one of my videos, well, in my video of why I left Keller Williams, I talked about how they did not have my contracts ready, and honestly it was just because of that time, and I'm pretty sure it was a blessing in disguise. So this doesn't speak for Keller Williams period, it's just the broker that I was with at that time. There was like a little mishap with the contracts, and when I got my first lead, because I didn't have my contracts ready, I lost my deal. And I was just so heartbroken about it. She made things simple by just sitting me down and telling me, like, we used zip forms and they had all our contracts there. She told me how to fill it out and whatnot. So that was great. The hands-on training is the reason why I can do real estate now, honestly. I got my first closing with them. It was a lead with them. And that's kind of like how I got on the roll. And then I had a second deal with them where I got my own, it was an internet lead that I had gotten. So yeah, so I identified what I wanted. I wanted a brokerage that had hands-on training and leads. Okay, so because I went to a brokerage that provided those things for me, it honestly set me up for just like getting into the momentum. Around the time that I was with that brokerage, I was going through some like personal stuff, and real estate is like a real mental game. Like you have to be like mentally ready to take on this industry, and that moment of my life I was not. So I kind of like took like a breaks just here and there and whatnot. But if honestly, like if I continue to like work those leads, I could have made so much more business with that. When you identify like what you need, whether it be like hands-on training, whether it be leads, whether it be you want them to have like a base pay of $3,000 a month, whether it be that you don't want to have to pay any office fees, identify what best suits you. When I was trying to look around for different brokerages, there was one of them that she had a base pay of like 40 grand a month, but it was like they would pay in advance. So they would expect you, they would give you enough leads to close like 2 deals or 4 deals a month and make an average of like 80 a year. But they would pay you in advance to make sure that you are able to pay your bills, just focus on real estate. Like that brokerage was designed for you to be able to do real estate full-time and still pay your bills. That is very rare. But if that's important to you, for example, like I was still doing my business on the side, I was still doing hair on the side, so it wasn't as important to me. So identify what is best important for you, what the brokerage that you're with and what they provide is how it can set you up for success in the long run. So keep that in mind. All right, so once you have that identified, the next thing is, which is kind of like ties into this first thing, you would need to make sure that you are in a comfortable position to where you have like a steady stream of income, right? Like just like a small number. No, for like a basic or minimum number, like in order from, and this is why I said this, because the reason why I would be like on and off in real estate is because I kept having to go back to doing hair because that made the most money, and then try real estate again, and then go back to that, and then it was just like on and off and on and off. For example, like I didn't quit my job, or I didn't leave here and did that first full time, is because I wanted to make sure that I still made money, like a minimum amount of money, but I didn't have it. It wasn't as structured as it needed to be. When you first get into real estate, you first get licensed, don't quit your job, right? Make sure that you have, let's say like for me, my number was, and I'm doing this right now. So my number was that I needed to make my bills in total were like $3,000 a month. Like I needed it to make sure, like to cover my bills, like I have to be making at least 35 to like cover it completely, and then I can do the extra step, which is to do real estate, right? All right, let me just talk about my example so it can make more sense. I am a real estate assistant. I started in June, and I don't make that much. Like I make just enough, right? And so I just use $3 grand. Yeah, so I make $3 grand a month with that job and with doing hair, I make an extra 1,000 to 1,500, like between $1 to $1,500 a month. So my minimum livable income, mainstream income, right, takes care of all of my bills. So now I can focus on my in-between time, which is not much, to try to pursue real estate, right? So with my job, I'm able to still sell homes and do XYZ, right? In the meantime, like whenever I get off work and I don't have a hair appointment, I do research or learn different ways to generate leads. How do I generate leads? Well, I had to do what's best for me. So let's move into the next step, which is once you realize that your basic needs, financial needs, are going to be taken care of because you do Uber Eats or because you kept your job and you do whatever. Once that's taken care of, it takes away from the financial strain and then stress, and then you don't have to take the breaks. Like I took all those breaks, right? I hope you guys are following me. I'm trying my hardest to I'm trying my hardest to make sure I'm hitting every single point and not go off topic. Anyways, so now that you have your basic minimum whatever, because you're with a brokerage that provides what you need, like for me, hands-on training, hands down, like the brokerage I'm at right now, I've learned a whole lot more, right? And I'm in real estate. I'm learning. I do contracts all day long. It's very small and tight knit. So I'm learning a lot about real estate, right? So and they provide leads. It's not really, because it's just like here and there. I now am able to focus on lead generation that works for me, which I'm doing right now in this moment. Because in the beginning, I was like, okay, she provides leads. Honestly, I was just trying to get back on track. I was trying to like focus on stacking my account up and then, learn all the material. And then once I feel comfortable about like actually pursuing deals, I'm going to do it, which is no. So now I'm doing that. So you might see people be like, oh, the best way to generate leads is through cold calling, or the best way to generate leads is through social media, or the best way to generate leads is through open houses or XYZ. The best way to generate leads is what is best for you. Whatever is best for your personality. Like for me, cold calling, no. I don't like getting yelled at. I don't like being hung upon. I don't like being dismissed. I don't like hearing no to my face or like in real time. I don't like that. I don't like the attitudes. It irks my nerves. That's not good for me. Door knocking, tried it, would never try it again. I tried it once. It's not for me. There was this one lady that she said she did a TED talk and she was like, door knocking made her like $100,000 or some crazy number. That works best for her. Like I saw that TED talk and I was just like, I have to like get out my comfort zone and do XYZ. No, it didn't work for me. I've heard people say like cold calling has made them an extra $50,000 in commissions or whatever, right? Whatever. If you have a chatty salesperson personality, go on and do the cold calls. Go on and do the for sale by owners, cold calling or cold emailing, whatever you want to do. Go in and do the door knocking. That's great for you. If you are a social media presence and that fits into your lifestyle, go ahead and start doing home tours about 3 times a week and be consistent with it. And then when you do that, you also add in some fun facts and XYZ. Do social media. If you are great with open houses and you're with a brokerage that it's a big company and you say like, hey, I'm new here, I want to do some open houses so I can generate some leads, do that, right? Like that's what I did, and that's how I got my first lead at Keller Williams. So do what is best for your personality. Whatever you're most comfortable with, do that and stick with it and do your research on it and see what works, what didn't work, and hone that, right? Shadow people that do the same thing that you do. That's the best way to lead generate. The best way to lead generate is to identify what works best for you. Because if you are comfortable at doing it and you excel in doing it, it will work. But if you try to do what Mary and Tom and Susan is doing and you get frustrated, it's going to be a turn off and you're going to get discouraged. For me, the best way to lead generate was to hire someone to do some Facebook ads. So I hired someone that, because I wanted to do Facebook ads. So when I got my first listing is because I did a training at Keller Williams and I did Facebook ads and I got a listing out of it. It took me forever, but I got a listing out of it regardless, right? And then I tried over and over and over again and it wasn't working. And then I wanted to do other lead generation ideas and it just was not working with my lifestyle, with my personality, and XYZ. Lead generation through Facebook ads, that works for me because I don't gotta talk to you. You're coming to me. That's what I want. I want you to come to me. I don't want to have to like break you down and convince you to do XYZ and it's gonna take forever. No. So that's what I did. I hired someone, I paid someone, or I have like a bit of money, paid someone to do that. So that worked for me. I've gotten some leads from it, working on it right now, but I'm going to do what I just was telling y'all to do. Study it, do research. What's the best way to make sure that it's like quality leads? What does this person do? What does that person do? XYZ. So while I was at my job, I was studying and like absorbing when the leads would come into her, like my boss, like, what did she do? How did she get this listing? And how did she do XYZ and so forth and so forth? And know that I've downloaded it. Now I'm executing it. The next thing I want you guys to do is figure out what part of real estate best fits you, right? Honestly, you should do this before the lead generation ideas, or it could just go hand in hand. So after you figure out like what's the best way to lead generate, then figure out what side of real estate do I fit in best. I realized that I like investment side of real estate, right? I like when you got a crappy house and I'm gonna sell it to an investor. Investors are always buying wherever they are. They're always somewhere around. They got the money. It ain't no pre-approval. We're gonna close in about 7 days to 2 weeks, 3 weeks, and we're good to go. They don't want anything done to the home. That's just the niche that I'm in. So pick a niche, and again, it's what best suits your personality. I remember when I was at my last brokerage, Vendor Mortgage, I overheard a conversation between a lady that's been doing it for a while and a guy that's been doing it for a year. And he was complaining and saying that I've been here for about a year and I haven't gotten one lead. I haven't gotten one lead in XYZ. And then she was like, well, I don't know what his name was. That's like his name was Mike. Well, Mike, what you need to do is you just need to figure out like what's that sweet spot for you. I'm sorry, that's my son, guys. Anyways, what's that sweet spot for you? Like, what is your niche? Like, where do you best excel in a nutshell is what you're trying to get him to say. Her niche is she sells to doctors or even in the medical industry, like clinics and stuff like that. I don't know how she got into that. I didn't ask her, but that's just her niche. So, and she, commercial real estate, commercial buildings, you got more commission in that. So that is her niche. Another one was he did commercial real estate, and he did like selling like Walgreens or selling like just restaurants and here and there. Like that was his niche. Most people were just regular residential. Other people, like one lady that was there, her thing was rentals. Like she would buy properties into Airbnb. That's her set of real estate. So it's not just selling a house. It could be Airbnb. It could be rental arbitrage. It could be my thing, like investment. It could be wholesale, which you could make a lot of money doing wholesaling. It could be fix and flip if you have money to do it. Figure out what is the best niche that best suits you, right? I do like the residential side of real estate, but I also do like the investment side of it as well, okay? Or you could do things where you lead generate and you just rack up on referrals. Like I've heard when I was at Keller Williams, the coach was saying that he knows a guy that his license is inactive and he just racks up on referrals. I don't know how he was getting the clients, but let's say like I'm here in Augusta, Georgia, and I have deals running or ads running in Texas or New York or Maryland, and I get those leads for nicer areas where the price of the homes are higher than where I'm at right now. And I say, hey, call up an agent in Maryland or an agent in Texas. And I say, hey, I have this client. I already nurtured them. They're ready to go. I would like a referral fee of 30% or 25% or whatever the case may be. And that's a good way to rack up on deals, to rack up on money. You see what I'm saying? Real estate is so diverse and so flexible. You could make money doing photography. You could make money doing signs. You can make money doing coaching. You can make money doing tutoring. You can make money doing appraisals. You can make money doing notary. Figure out what's best for you, okay? After you figure out what's best for you, every single deal or every single transaction, what is the average commission or amount of money that you will be paid? Now, let's say like I wanted to do wholesaling, right? The average deal for me, I'm just throwing out numbers here, would be $3,000 is my assignment fee. That's the lowest assignment fee that I have, right? Now, if I want to make $10,000 a month, I need XYZ amount of deals to make about $3,000 a month. And that is on top of what you're making minimum right now, right? So if I'm making $3,500 minimum right now I make $4,000 minimum right now on average, right? I need to have at least 2 deals a month, right? From my wholesaling to make 10 grand a month, right? So I already have my base pay. I already figured out how I'm going to lead generate. I already know what niche I'm in, right? Now it's time to execute the lead generation. Consistency is key. It's not going to always work on the first try or the second try or the 10th try. But that's where, like I said, you do your research, you figure out what's working, not what's not working, why didn't it work, XYZ. You shadow people that do the same thing as you, and then you work at it. You work at that lead gen idea until it works, until you get that first deal, okay? People that are in wholesaling have tried for a year, have tried for a week, have tried for 2 years. It just takes consistency and working that lead generation strategy until something comes from it. Until you have that aha moment. Oh, a 1 + 1 times X is gonna give me this result. A times 2 times 3 didn't get me this result, so I'm gonna, you see what I'm saying? Like, this strategy works for me. This is what worked. I'm gonna try it again, see if it works again, or try it again. If it doesn't work again, figure out what didn't work again, or you see what I'm saying? Just literally work at it, be consistent with it until it does work. When it does work, when whatever formula works, granted, it wasn't just like a by chance situation. If this formula or this strategy works, stick to that strategy. Identify exactly why it works, and then continue, and then continue, and then continue. When you get your first deal, you reinvest, you put a set of portion that's gonna, reinvest into your marketing strategy or whatever strategy, and then you pocket that, and then you continue, and then you continue, and then you continue until it works. Okay? If you guys do this, let's recap. Figure out a brokerage that works for you, that's gonna provide you with what you need, right? Because that is going to set you up for success. If you have a brokerage that you can come to and talk to and say, hey, I'm struggling with XYZ. You've been in this way longer than me. What am I doing wrong? What can I do differently? And go on to that. Or I want to be an assistant, right? Figure it out. Like, figure out what the brokerage that you're with is going to set you up for success. You got that part done. I'm not going to quit my job. I'm going to continue working at McDonald's or XYZ because I need to have a minimum income of whatever, right? Or I'm going to go to a brokerage that pays me a base pay of $3,000 a month because that covers my bills. And because I won't have that financial strain, I can focus. I could put an hour. When it comes to this, me doing my lead generation idea, it all took me about an hour, right? With real estate, it is so flexible. You can designate an hour or a day towards it, and still keep your job and still make sure that you're doing XYZ. I don't keep you work a 12-hour shift because I work about, I do a 9 to 6, and then I do a 6:30 to 1 o'clock at night, right? So you can still do it. You can still put aside an hour to put towards your lead generation idea, all right? It ain't no excuses. I doubt you working 7 days a week at 13 hours a day, right? So it's possible to make sure that you put at least an hour or 2 hours towards your lead gen idea, okay? So we got the brokerage, we know what money we gotta make minimum to cover our bills and to take away the financial strain. And then we know what we want, what part of real estate we wanna be in. So we know what our niche is. We are going to now execute our lead generation idea. We have done the research, we're shadowing the people, we're gonna now apply it, right? Please do your research. Don't just try it and then, oh, it didn't work. Do your research. Before I did my Facebook leads, I was studying my broker. I was doing like little ideas and whatnot. And then I seeked a professional and I hired that dude, okay? Somewhere in between there, figure out how many deals a month you need to do, right, to make about 10 grand a month. And then so if I need to have like 2 deals a month, I need to be able to have at least 20 leads a month to convert that, or at least 30 leads a month to convert that in XYZ. And then of course you're just gonna scale and scale and scale. You guys, the most important detail or step in this detail in this whole thing is consistency. I cannot stress it enough. Consistency and doing your research and playing it smart and being diligent and doing the work, those 2 things is what's going to give you that 10 grand a month. Be consistent with it and you will not fail. Be consistent with it and do your research, be smart about it, and then apply those 2 things, research and consistency, and you will make 10 grand a month. I promise you. How I made my first 10 grand, it honestly was just like, I want to say by chance, but it's just the way it happened. It was family. They bought a house. They had to sell their house. So I got 2 checks from that. And then I also got a lead from my brokerage that I was with that all totaled up to around like $9,000. And then with me doing hair, that was like $2,000 as well. So I made my $10,000. So I have my base, which is hair, which was like only maybe like $2,000 in that month. And then 3 deals. So 3 deals is what made me that extra, right? So, alrighty. That's pretty much it that I have for this video. I know it was long, but I really tried to, the best that my brain, my scattered brain can do it, was just try to point out the best way to, like, your business plan, right? The best way to, as a matter of fact, create a business plan. Like, once you see it on paper and you have like a schedule to go by versus just winging it, that is gonna help you guys out tremendously. That's what's helped me out. My Lord and Savior said, Maya, create a business plan. I was like, okay, I will. I kid you not, like an hour later, I'm on Instagram and I saw a Dave Ramsey ad that said, create a freaking business plan. And I just laughed. I created a business plan and I executed it, and yeah, so it's coming together slowly but surely. But anyways, I'm going to be doing these steps with you. Like I said, I just hired someone to be doing my lead generation for me. We've got 2 leads from it so far. I'm going to try to work them as much as possible, and we will go from there. Yeah, so I will let you know how well my strategy works when I make my first 10, my second 10 grand with real estate. I will let you guys know and just pretty much like break down why it works and how it worked, time frame, XYZ. Okay? All right, that is it for today's video. I hope you guys enjoyed, and I will see you guys in my next one. Bye.